Alsace wouldn't be quite the same without them. Across the Rhine plain, traditional timber-framed houses are part of the picture postcard scenery, iconic symbols threatened by the passage of time. Every year, 400 of these remarkable old houses are demolished, but a handful of Alsatians are trying to safeguard their heritage. 3 years ago in Engvillers, in the north of the Lower Rhine region, a couple embarked on a rather crazy project.
So this is going to be the stoop, the main living room.
Carole and her partner Gilles bought this 18th century farmhouse to make it their home. Despite a few misgivings, they opted for authenticity rather than a modern structure.
We were a bit prejudiced about Alsatian houses, and as a result, we assumed it was going to be dark. But when we got here, we saw there were lots of windows, so it's not so dark after all.
There are 23 of them.
So we actually really liked it. It had everything we had in mind.
Inside and out, everything needs to be restored. The couple intends to respect the codes of Alsatian architecture.
This is called the Gupti.
By using, for example, this mixture of lime and red sand for the rendering.
See? It's very liquid. You just have to throw it on.
These are ancestral materials and techniques, perfect for prolonging the life of this old building.
The house is 300 years old, and it's lasted this long because it's built from the materials they used back then. I'm not convinced that modern concrete houses will last 300 years.
Withstanding the harsh local climate, they have survived wars and disasters. The names of the men who built them can be read on the sides of these half-timbered structures.
Vous en avez de la chance, vous, les Schuller, les Jung, les Urban et les Bastien. Car la maison du trisaïeul sera aussi celle de l'arrière-petit-fils. Et vous traverserez ainsi les siècles.
It's a view that failed to take into account the wave of urbanization. Some ancestral dwellings, like this house, 4 centuries old but demolished in 2020, are disappearing forever. Other half-timbered houses, though, are being painstakingly dismantled and given refuge here, in the village of Hochfelden.
There's a whole house here. You just need to reassemble it, put the panels on and fill in the half-timbering, and you've got yourself a house.
Jérémy is an Alsatian house rescuer. He's helped out by the clues left behind by the carpenters of the day. It's a veritable construction manual.
There are markings here. They're very faint because they've been worn away by time. But here you can make out a 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then 3 lines which shows that this is the rear facade, the half-timbering.
Rather than be discarded, these beams, some of them 300 years old, are cleaned up, measured, and then cut before being assembled to provide the framework for other structures, like this 19th century barn.
It's also a great source of pride because we're perpetuating the work of our ancestors, which secures our heritage. So that's something we're very proud of.
Barns, houses, or farmhouses, this company renovates more and more ancestral buildings every year. Traditional Alsatian houses are actually very popular with homeowners, and the old is not necessarily incompatible with the new. Carole and Gilles took a break from their renovation project to look for inspiration in the work of another couple.
So this is the house, then there's the courtyard and the outbuildings.
Yves and his partner have transformed and modernized his grandmother's house.
It's really nice. It just goes to show you really can modernize an old house.
And contrary to popular belief, renovating an old Alsatian house doesn't need to cost the earth.
We weren't sure we wanted to renovate an Alsatian house, but we soon realized that it met all the ecological criteria we were looking for. The materials are easy to install, and if you can fix them up yourself, you'll save a lot of money. And in the end, you can spend that on other things.
In the course of their work, the couple made some strange discoveries.
This is an outline we found under the window, which is actually a footprint. In fact, there's a large footprint and a smaller one. They're the signature of the people who preceded us, and for us, the discovery was like finding a real treasure.
We're just passing through. Hopefully, we're making sure that they'll endure for several centuries to come.
Like guardians of memory, these protectors of our heritage are preserving the soul of our villages, the Alsatian charm that helps attract over 20 million visitors every year.